of you that are here and on Facebook. Hi. Now that was my business bio, so that was everything. That's my day job, I say. And my evening job is I do a lot of spiritual work with Archangel Gabriel, and he's the one who inspires my writings, my talks as of today. So I'm not coming up with notes because I'm going to just let him help me share with you the topic of mastering your intuition, because that's basically what I had to do, is master my intuition to be in alignment with the angels and with Gabriel. And it's taken me my entire life to do that. I'm continuing to do it. Things will happen in life when you don't know. I've had several family losses this week, so my talk isn't exactly what I was that I put together last week, because I'm a different person today than I was last week. And so that's where mastering your intuition comes in. So driving here from Palm Desert, I just allowed myself to meditate while I was driving carefully. I did not close my eyes, but align myself with my intuition, right? With God, with the angels, with Gabriel, so that I can have the strength to speak with you here today and not stay home sad. So I just want to thank you all for your energy, because I can feel it, and your love. And I hope to share that with you as well. So mastering your intuition, we all have it. I don't have a gift of channeling Gabriel, if you want to say, because it's not a present. We all have it. And that's what this talk is about. That when you fall into yourself, as Ernest Holmes talks about, I never heard the mission before, but I love it. Everything that you read, Karen, is exactly how I feel. So there's no accident that I'm here. I was raised in a very strict, two Christian home, Catholic and Seventh-day Adventist, just saying. So, my angel work is not exactly open there. But I feel that, based on your philosophies here, it would be welcome. So thank you. So Gabriel says it's not a present for me to get the messages from him, because we all have it. And if you're listening to this message today, you might have had a question for God and the angels, and hopefully this will answer it, just through me, through these words. And when you are at home and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, he says, just love yourself and know that you are God. You are God, and you can, when you're mastering your intuition, you can ask God and the universe to see the world through his eyes. See the world through God's eyes. And ask God to see the world through your eyes, so that God is seeing the world through us, even though he can see everything, but he can literally right now look at your eyes. And then you can see the world through his eyes. And when you see the world through Spirit's eyes, you only can see love and kindness and compassion. And that's what mastering your intuition is, knowing that when you can see the world through Spirit's eyes, and you can write, and you can sing, and you can, everything we do, our passion, whatever our passion is, that's God, right? That's God, that's our intuition. So if it's through music, they're speaking through us with the music. If it's through writing, if it's through singing, whatever it is we do, our creativity, the arts, whatever it is that we do, that we say, how did I do that? Or, I don't understand. Why me, God? Why do I have this, ability? Why not you? Because I asked that to Gabriel when I was writing. I said, why me? Why not you? Me asking the question, why me? He said it was my ego. That was ego asking, why me? That's your ego saying. And he's saying, why not you? Why not you? For everything you can do. Anything you want to do. No limits. I'm teeing up for next week's speaker. We have only the limits that we put on ourselves because of our own comfort zone, based on the way we were raised, based on our human experience that we have. is where our limitations take us. So when you open up your consciousness, your spirit, your mind, everything, without any restrictions, there are no limits. But when we find ourselves in a position where there are limits, that's okay too, because that's us being human. And if we weren't human, we would be over there with them. So, we wouldn't be here if we weren't human. And part of those experiences when we doubt ourselves, that's all natural. That's who we are as humans. Otherwise, again, then it would be, so it's a conundrum, because it's almost saying two things, right? Well, you doubt yourself, so that's your ego. You don't doubt yourself, that's your ego. So whenever you think that could be your ego, it probably is. And there's nothing wrong with ego, he says. There's no right or wrong in the universe. These are just words that we're attached to, he says, right? We're attached to words. But when we go into silence, Bhakti spoke on silence. That's when we can tap into our intuition as well. So if we wake up, the angels wake us up at 4 a.m, which they've been doing lately with me a lot. That's our time. That's our time with them. They're just nudging us. We wake up and we go, okay. Sometimes I get my phone and I start shopping. Ugh, sorry, honey. When I wake up at 4 a.m, that's my inspiration at that moment. And then I have to remind myself, oh, no, that's not why I'm waking up at 4 a.m. I'm waking up so that I can tap in to God and tap into my spirit and get my downloads and start my day. And then I can fall back asleep about 5:30 and then wake up at 7, whatever. I do that a lot. And so when that happens, whatever your time is, whether it's 4 a.m, 10 at night, whatever it is, your alone time, your time, he says, when you're resting, when you are resting, balance is, Gabriel tells me, balance is basically easy to explain. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of leisure time, and 8 hours of sleeping. So that just goes with your 24-hour day. And if you can kind of think about things that way, because I was always, you heard my resume, I had no balance. I was a workaholic, I still am. Right now that when I'm going through grief and stuff, what do? I do cry, but then I go to work. I'm like, no, I've got to go open up a new treatment center. I've got to do something, really crazy, work-wise. And that's not balance. That's not balance. So those 8 hours of leisure, that's your time. That's your time to, and use the word leisure, he says, because leisure is a vacation. That's a fun word, so that's when you're going to do your music, when you're going to, he says, even your Netflix, whatever, your time, if it's in the evening, because your 8 hours of work can be the time when you're giving to others. That's whether it's work or whether you're at home, whether you're volunteering, that's your work time is when you're giving to others. Your leisure time is when you're giving to yourself. Okay. So work time is when you're giving to others. Leisure time is when we're giving to ourselves. And our sleep is when they're giving to us. That's when the angels give to us, because that's when our consciousness is closest to them. Because our mind is shut. We're not thinking when we're sleeping, usually, right? And if you are thinking when you're sleeping, then you're not really sleeping. So when you're truly sleeping, that's when they, God, he who has no name, he who has every name, and the angels, that's when we ask them, very important, we ask them, because they don't impose themselves ever. We ask them before we go to sleep to do their love with us at night, to show us, to you can call it download, you can call it sleep with the angels, you can call it whatever you want, or nothing at all. He says exactly. He says no, don't call it anything. That was my correction, sorry. He says just be, right? And they know what we need, so we need not even say or give them requests. He says we can just to get it out, but they're going to give us what we need during that time if we ask them, so that in the morning when you wake up and you have these wonderful ideas, wow, where did that come from? It came from God in the middle of the night. So that's beautiful. And that's how you can master your intuition. Simple steps. Very simple steps. He says we overcomplicate everything as humans. But that's okay too, because that's who we are. And we have to have the answers. So when we're overcomplicating, that could be during our work 8 hours, right? When we're thinking and researching and all of that, that's our 8 hours of work. But then he says, prayer is when we ask God, meditation is when we hear the answers. So we can use our 8 hours of sleep as our meditation. If you can't sit there for 8 hours and meditate in the middle of the day or whatever, ask God to use that sleep time as our meditation. When I do spiritual groups at my program, we do meditation and such, and I tell the clients, whatever the therapist, my husband, the doctor, the psychologist, whatever they do, the counselors in their group, you listen to what they say. In my group, if you want to take a nap, you can. No, don't do it in the other groups because they'll get really upset with you. Yeah. But in my meditation group, you could either participate in the meditation or you can relax with the pillow and you're still going to get the information. It's however you relax. So if you're relaxing sitting, if you're relaxing standing, if you're relaxing in lotus position, or if you're just, so they can do whatever they want in the group because it's their spiritual group, right? So it's your spiritual time. So if you can't get into that lotus position 2 hours a day and do all those wonderful things, which I love to do, but I haven't since COVID really, let's just get real, I just kind of, everything changed, she says. So use that time when you're sleeping and ask God and the angels to meditate for you and to give you those answers, almost like a labyrinth. I walked a labyrinth a couple days ago, and I love labyrinths. And so, you go in and I have my idea of what answer I want, the question, go to the middle, and then God tells me something else, okay? It wasn't even about what I came in the door, and then when I walk out, then it's what he was giving me. And could be usually is different than what my human brain thought that I needed. He's like, no, that's not what you need at all. This is what you really need. Because from a surface, as a human, we think we know what we need, right? Because we're human and we're flesh. So we do ask God for those things, and we do ask Spirit, we do ask the universe, and we do just put our hands up and go, what? Already, And then they go, okay, let's give you what it really is. So there's a lot of layers to our consciousness. A lot of layers. And it's important right now in the world the way it is that we integrate all of it. So that we integrate spirit with our work. So part of my bio is that through leadership and spirituality is how I lead. But do I tell them that at my CEO stuff? No, because they feel like, oh, okay. But you just be it, right? And you speak it and you show it. And so you are that love and you are that compassion when you're in a room with politicians that are just ridiculous, and God just has me there for a reason to, they always think I'm the secretary because, whatever. Actually, I'm an owner of a treatment center too. That's okay, because then I'm not intimidating to them. And so then they can loosen up a little bit and be their spiritual self, because we all have so many layers. So that's where the judgment does not come from me trying, about who they are. As a matter of fact, Gabriel says to me, today is beautiful because we're all like-minded and we're like-spirited, so we get to feel each other's energy and then go for the week. And then so we're basically right now singing to each other as a choir. But then he says, take it out to those that are the audience that don't even know, right? And that's not even in imposing words at all. It's just in who you are, so that they're going to want that as well. And this is all stuff we learn all our life to do, but sometimes we just have to remember that. when you're around people that you would normally not be around because it's like, I don't like you, you know, then you need to be around them even more, he says, you know, then you need to be around him more if you don't like him, and you happen to be in that room with him, you know, or him or her, whatever, the person that you just think, why am I in this person's realm? You know, law of attraction, how did I attract this person, right? So we can take responsibility, and I love law of attraction that way, you know, it's like, okay, I can say, well, okay, I obviously manifested this situation because I'm here. So then that's where they go, okay, yeah, we manifest each other as humans because we are mirrors to each other. So if you're seeing somebody that you don't like, really you're seeing things about yourself that you don't like, he says. Now that answer I never like, but, you know, but it's true, you know, because there are people that I just don't understand, I guess I could say. And those are things about myself as a human that I don't understand. So then there's no judgment, there's only love. You know, it's not that you have to forgive them or say, oh, well, they're this, what, you know, nothing, no words. They're just your mirror. We're all mirrors to each other. So I can ask you about how you feel about me, and you'll say, oh, wow, what a beautiful message. And I'll say, that's your message, that's you. You're the beauty in the message. So whatever I'm saying is because I'm reflecting who you are, Gabriel says. So when we're with each other, we can remember that, you know, that it's all for a reason and it's all for love. And that's how we master our intuition, through being and knowing that we are God and we are heaven and we are love and we are beauty. And it's not easy to say that to yourself in a mirror. So try it. You know, because that is difficult. This is something I did 23 years ago for the first time, and I couldn't believe that I was being asked to do that by my mentor, you know. Tell yourself you love, oh God, I couldn't, I mean, that's, you know, because I was raised not to, you know, that was vanity. But it's not vanity. It's, you're not looking at yourself in the mirror to see if you need to tweeze or anything. That's not what that is. You're looking at yourself in the mirror to see God's eyes, to see God in you. So you don't have to worry about your crow's feet or any of that, you know, whatever's going on with your aging. That's not why. And then when you do that, you'll look at yourself in the mirror, and all of a sudden, all that'll go away. And you'll be like, wow, I am beautiful. I am the light, because you are God in that light. And God is perfect. And so are you. So I think that was my 20 minutes.
Wow.
Because everything's on angel time, and so Gabriel, I never have to have a watch or clock, because he will start and stop me when it's time.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Josie. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Inspirational. There's millions of adjectives for that. And I don't have the vocabulary.